This is the DIY Artist Route and You podcast, walking and navigating the uncommon path for creative people in business, music, media, and more. Hi, I'm D. Grant Smith. The road often traveled is the one we see so many people on. You go to college, you get out, you get a job, you work a 9-to-5 gig. It helps you pay the bills, but it doesn't really offer the rewards of pursuing your dreams. Those of us on the uncommon path are going on a different road, often unpaved, unknown, wrought with challenges, but providing fulfillment in our passions. Thanks for joining me. My guest this time is Liza Wisner, an entrepreneur and business growth expert working with nonprofits and social enterprises to build communities. Her nonprofit Power Up helps folks just like you and I, as artists, be able to make our talents and our offerings connect better with the community. I talk a lot about building bridges between the people you want to reach and your own music. Liza is an expert bridge builder, and we'll talk about that in this episode. She's also been a finalist on one of TV's biggest outlets for entrepreneurs and business people, finishing third on a previous season of The Apprentice. In this episode of the DIY Artist Route and You, Liza will tell us what one thing artists and entrepreneurs must have to succeed, how building community is the essence of real growth, and how events like gigs and conferences are one of the best tickets to growth for your work. I spoke with Liza by phone, and here is that conversation.
Okay, yes. So I believe in social entrepreneurship. So pretty much everything that I've ever gotten into always has some sort of community engagement and social responsibility aspect. And what I did actually after getting on The Apprentice was I decided to use that as my platform on showcasing how you can have a business and also make it part of the community's success and showing how business actually helps the community become more successful. And so I think my path has led me to find organizations, find owners, find people who want to start companies that are more in that social realm, more in that social responsibility versus, I think there's that famous book, People Over Profit. I think it's kind of like the vein that I'm on, and so I'm excited about it.
What you just said about investing in the community, that's very much a part of what people in the arts community do, in the same ways that startup entrepreneurs do, in investing in people and investing in ideas more so than just trying to make money.
Exactly, you're right, spot on, because even though, you see artists and they do a beautiful painting or there's a statue and it represents something for the community, something beautiful to look at, and we just see that as immediate value. And a business, even though there is that profit side, we have to make money to exist, there is that hidden part, which is the social responsibility part. The more successful the business is, the more time that business owner can spend with their family. Maybe now they can volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. They can donate more to charity. There's just so much more. They can create more jobs. So there's so much responsibility in terms of being a business owner that goes way beyond making that profit.
With your experience and the work that you do with nonprofits and businesses, as well as the time that you spent when you were on The Apprentice, do you see success differently than you did before that? Meaning, do you see that success is really a matter of reaching different milestones instead of reaching a destination?
Yes, in fact, what I would say more clearly in terms of my opinion on that is I felt that way before I got on The Apprentice. I was, lucky enough that I had some life circumstances that happened that quickly taught me that having profits and living a rich, lavish lifestyle is not what success really is. Having happiness and being satisfied with where you're at, enjoying the work that you're doing, feeling fulfilled, and providing for my family, those are the things that I realized. And before I got on The Apprentice, I knew that those were going to be the things that I stand for. And, I can say right now that even after The Apprentice, that has not changed. That's still the person I am today. Everyone who knew me before The Apprentice and after The Apprentice will say that I am still the same Liza, I still do the same things, the work that I do. Even though I am making money, I'm still focused on what's the bigger picture here. How is this serving the community? Who's going to benefit from this? 100 years from now, what are people going to say about this organization, about this company, about the work we were doing, about the product, about the services. I just want to make sure that when I'm all long gone and forgotten, that there's something that's left behind that is of value, and that to me is the legacy that I want to leave.
How have teachers and leaders helped you grow in the past year?
In the past year, wow. The most exciting thing about my career is I am a teacher. I'm an educational technologist, and so I teach adults. So in the professional development arena, I have obviously a huge network of professionals in educational technology, and I keep in touch with, I guess you could say, my core support team. And I took on a new role working with my city, the city of Corpus Christi, as their learning and organizational development manager. And when I took this role, a lot of people were like, "What have you done, Liza? You've left Houston. Now you're coming to Corpus Christi, and what are you doing?" And for me, it was a bigger vision of what this learning institute that we were developing was going to be. It was going to be a corporate university. The building on that, to me, was kind of a bit scary because it was going to be impacting over 300,000 lives. There's 3,000 employees here at the city, but we're serving our entire community. So I see them also as my customers. And I knew I had to find a good support system to get this thing going and set it off right, make sure that we were doing the right things, and we were being really innovative and making sure we were creating a program that was going to be sustainable. So I touched base with a lot of the professors that I keep in touch with, thought leaders who, you just kind of chime into some messages that you've heard from them, and sure enough, most times they do respond, even though you wouldn't imagine they would. And it's just great to have that feedback from experts. That way you know you're making the right decision. And then also, my sister is a teacher. She teaches in elementary school. And this year, which is pretty interesting, she won the Teacher of the Year award in our city. And that, to me, that re-energized my sense of teaching, because through that whole process of her applying for the after getting the award, she had to go through interviews, and, we were going back and forth, her papers she had to write. And I had to do research on things that I hadn't even thought about since I graduated with my master's degree. And it was just really good to go back and read those theories and rediscover all the things that I knew and relearn them. And I this year has been a really a growth phase for me in education and in learning, and I've been excited about it.
My kind of bent, you're very big on social responsibility, and my bent is just finding a path forward that is what I call an uncommon path. And I think that we as starters and as builders and as creative people, and being in American society where success is everywhere, bandwagons are very easy to follow. And we get this notion that the way we need to go is something that is clearly marked and easy to follow, and there's not potholes or quicksand or something like that. But oftentimes, when you get away from the standard 9-to-5 job, working for somebody else, you realize that there's not a clear-cut path. And so what I do is really kind of helping people, like you were talking about a minute ago, be motivated and excited to keep stepping forward and keep moving forward, even if the path is unclear.
Well, I think just to add to that, kudos to you, because that's the hardest part, right? Keeping going when things aren't going right. Because, I always tell the business owners, I'm like, well, I can guarantee you one thing, that you're going to fail at something, because that's always a guarantee right there. And it's about failing fast, right? And failing and being able to get up and keep going. And I think that's what you're providing. You're providing that support system as well. So that's great. Thank you for doing that.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
What would you say is one of the most common struggles that you see entrepreneurs or people starting out on their own face, and something that you has a fairly easy answer, but it's something that you see a lot of people deal with?
Belief. And I know for sure, firsthand, that belief is the easiest and the most difficult thing ever. It's so easy to believe in something, right? And you might think, oh, wow, yes, I believe that I'm going to be successful, and I believe in my product, and I believe in our processes, and I believe in all these things. But when the going gets tough, that belief starts to wane. And that's the hardest thing. It's easy to believe, but it's also really hard to maintain that belief. But there's just so much evidence out there. My personal experiences, reading from authors and other people who have been successful, hearing from them and just hearing their stories. And sometimes you hear them saying they wish they would have believed sooner or they believed bigger, because now that the success is coming in, they realize that they didn't believe as much as they should have in the beginning. So that's just my advice is, truly believe in what you're doing and go for it. Don't let the negativity that can kind of sit in when you're getting a lot of failures, because, honestly, in business and in my experience, even right now, you have to pull yourself up all the time, because there's just way too many failures more than successes. And you have to learn how to see those failures as successes. You have to learn how to see those failures as an opportunity to, almost like the rocks that you're going to stand on so that you can reach higher. So for me, it's that belief that you're going to get there. And the more you fail, the faster you're going to get there. So that belief just needs to be there.
That's really good. You've already given me about 5 quotes I'm going to use for different stuff, so thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. Make sure you're tweeting, so to make sure you tag me on those.
Oh, yeah. Definitely will do that. Where do you see yourself this time next year?
This time next year, wow. I see myself, that's a really good question, because it's a big dream that I have. And I really do essentially see the work that I'm doing on a more national level. I believe that what I'm building here, I've seen the city of Corpus Christi as a foundation for what professional development is all about, for what being a support system for a city is all about. I believe that if the program we're creating is seen in a bigger scale, like I want it to be seen, this is something that everybody's going to be wanting. We're going to create a model program that's going to impact every city. And I believe we're able to implement this type of a program in every city. We're going to be impacting lives outside of what you would think of as an organization. So that's where I see myself. I see myself as launching this learning institute, launching this learning initiative, launching this vision, this big goal on a bigger scale.
Is there something that you do to grow yourself and your skills so that you can be better at serving people that you work with? Yes.
I think constantly researching and discovering new ways to do the things that I already do is essential. I keep up with, obviously, the news of what's going on in my industry, but sometimes you get caught up in the work and you forget that somebody might have come up with a better way to do things. So it's always a good idea to attend conferences. I love attending conferences and events. Not only is it good for networking, but it's good to just hear about what the new trends are and best practices. And sometimes you need to get away so that you can be more focused on the work that you're doing and in terms of learning. So I do that. I attend conferences, events. I love going to networking events and meeting people. And that's always served me well, just learning from others and trying to find out how they've done things, and maybe even sometimes learning about their failures, what didn't work this year, and finding out how, maybe that's something I don't want to do. And so that's what I do, is I try to get around as many people as I can so I can learn from them.
If you could give a startup entrepreneur or an artist/musician, someone that is struggling to find direction on their path, what one piece of advice would you give them today?
Well, the number one thing is to be committed. And you have to pick something. Right? You got to pick a road. You got to pick a road, and you got to walk down that road. You can't be walking down that road wondering if you would have, should have, could have jumped onto the other road. So I would recommend just pick something and run with it. And I used to always say, I guess, follow your passion, find out what your passion is, and do what your passion is. But what I've realized is that in everything, in every realm, in every opportunity, every job, every business, you will have there is a piece of your passion in everything. So it's not about, quitting your job and doing something different, or stopping your business and starting a whole different business. I mean, unless your business is not serving people the right way, then get out of that business. But if you know you're serving people, if you know you created a system or a product, or you're in a company that's doing the right thing and creating a positive impact in the community, find something you're passionate about in there, whether it's doing research or marketing or whatever it is that interests you about that company, whatever it is, that one thing is what's going to keep you going. Because the worst thing you can do is be on a road and you're going really slow when you should just be running, and that way you can get to the end of the road quickly and realize what's at the end, right? So my recommendation is to just go for it. Go for what you have right now in front of you. Don't wait thinking, oh, I can't wait for the next thing to happen. Success doesn't just happen. You have to go for it. And so my recommendation is to go for it. Go for it. Make things happen for yourself. Even though you're feeling like you're struggling, just massive action, right? I would believe if you're not feeling motivated, just put on any Tony Robbins video and you'll be motivated in no time. And so he always talks about massive action. And I think if you just keep that going in your mind, if you just keep that positive outlook in your life, see that road, and just keep, digging, don't just, surface. Don't be a surface worker, right? You got to go deep, right? You got to go for it. If you do that, I believe you'll find success.
Awesome. Liza, thank you so much for being with us today and for all of your incredible wisdom and insights. It's been awesome.
You're welcome. Thanks. It's just really been fun sharing with you, and I know that there's lots more conversations going to probably come out of our conversation, so I look forward to visiting with you again.
All I want to do is get to where I'm going.
Liza Wisner, social entrepreneur, founder and CEO of Power Up, providing opportunities where everyone rises up, whose mission is to ensure that all children, especially those at risk of being left behind, have the resources and the opportunities they need to grow up healthy and lead productive lives. Get more info and become a volunteer at powerup.org. The DIY Artist Route and You podcast is an extension of the help that I provide for artists, entrepreneurs, and creatives who want to take their skills, talents, and interests and turn them into profitable careers. More information, free PDF guides, and the full archive of episodes of the DIY Artist Route and You are at dgrantsmith.com. Let's talk about your uncommon path. What's an area of the uncommon road that you want some clarity on or help with? Reach out to me directly at dgrantsmith.com and we'll chart your course together. Music from this episode from Timothy Palmer. It's a song called Tryin', which is perfectly appropriate for our subject matter this time. Get more of Timothy's amazing songwriting at facebook.com/Timothy Palmer Music. Thank you for joining me. I am D. Grant Smith for the DIY Artist Route and You podcast. Share this route with your friends via Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, email, and more. The share links are below the player. Keep carving your pathway, my friend. We'll meet up again soon.